That is right, mobile gamers. Today I'm going to show you guys how to set up a cheap way to set up a server with a device called the Zima board. Now this product can be purchased over on the link in the description below or even on Amazon. This is something that I have been using for almost nearly a year now. It's a basically dedicated server to host all of your files, and it can act as a server for Minecraft. It's a very low power, low efficient device that you don't need to have like your computer running all the time. You can just have it plugged in somewhere in the corner next to your router. It is an awesome device to say the least, and honestly it's something that I highly recommend you to get if you want to set up a dedicated server for under $200 Canadian. Now I say that because servers cost money. If you pay monthly for a server, you're paying basically for the price of that device, and at least this way you have full control and you can keep track of all your backup data and everything like that. Now this guide is going to be more of an advanced guide, I would say, because you need to know about port forwarding, you need to know about your internet connection and all that kind of stuff. You need to know where your actual Casa OS is located on the Zima board, which is pretty straightforward and standard. If you want me to do kind of a guide about how to set all this up and everything, I can do that as well. However, right now I am located in Casa OS. Casa OS is the operating system that is on the Zima board. I've already logged in, I've already got everything pre-set up. I wasn't going to reset this one just because I wanted to just get right into what we're going to be using, which is going to be called Crafty. Crafty is an awesome tool to get us set up, so we're going to find that in the App Store and we're going to go down and look for Crafty. You can search it or you can just scroll all the way down until you see Crafty, which usually shows up right at the top here. So we're going to install Crafty. We're going to click on the next steps and we're going to wait for that to install. Now we do need to set up some configurations for Crafty, so I'm going to show you how to do that in a few moments. If you like this sort of content and you found this helpful, if you have any questions or anything like that, subscribe, comment, share, like, and jump over to Discord, because I do try to contact people or chat back with people on Discord as much as I can. With my daily schedule, I try to be more active with Discord and everything else. So this again is for people that have access to Casa OS. You can use a computer, but I highly recommend you to get one of these Zima boards if you have the money to do so, because it's definitely something that can help, or something similar that can run Linux or anything like that as well. To run Casa OS, you can do this with a container on the computer as well. Like there's Casa OS on the PC, so it's all up to you how you do this, or even Crafty on the PC as well. It's just basically what we're doing today is we're using Crafty. Crafty is the main thing. Now if you get a window like this, like I am right now, go to the advanced tab and click on proceed, and now we are in our Crafty controller container. Now we need to know what the username is, so if we go back into our Zima board and go to files, we go to app data, we go to Crafty config, we're going to go into the text document that says default credentials, and this is going to give us our username and password. We're going to change this after the fact. Now this is going to say that it's admin, but all I'm going to do is just copy the password, because that's a pretty long password, and you can just download that configuration file as well. So go like this, download it, go to open, and then we can actually open it up right here, and we should be able to copy that text file right like so. You don't need the quotation marks, you just need the actual password itself. So the admin is the username, and then the password is whatever we just copied there. Now we're going to log in for the very first time. We're going to skip this survey, and now we can change our username and password if you'd like, or you can keep it the same. It's up to you. I would like to do that though, because I don't want to have people know what my username and password is. So I'm going to go to the settings cog, and we can change our device to landscape mode so that we can change stuff here. So as you can see here, we have our username as admin, so I can use the profile icon. I can change that to whatever I want it to be. So in my case, I'm going to change it to Mr. DNA, all in lowercase, as my admin name. Make sure it's all lowercase as well. And then you can change your password as well. So we can change that. So to change your password, you can click on the little icon that looks like a lock, and then you're going to enter the new password right here. So I'm going to enter my new password, and again, don't give this password to anybody, because some people could try to reroute into your system and stuff and try to change things. Now I don't think anybody's going to, but They could. I'm just going to let you know that now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into my CastOS. I'm going to go back into my main. I'm going to go don't save, go out of here, and then I'm going to go into my Crafty again, and I'm going to log in with my new credentials. And now we're ready to basically rock. So I like to set this to desktop mode because I like to see everything. I know mobile mode is not the greatest sometimes, so there we go. Now we can see everything a little bit better. I'm going to go to my little icon on the top right hand side, which is called the hamburger icon. I'm going to click on servers, and I'm going to click on create new server. Now this isn't going to be a server that we create for like mods or anything like that. This is just going to be a generic 1.21 vanilla server for Java Minecraft. So I'm going to click on the server type down here. I'm going to click on vanilla. You can use fabric and all that kind of stuff, but we're just going to use vanilla 1.21.4, and I'm going to name this just test server just for now, just so that you guys can get a kind of feel for it. You can change your memory. Now this device is the Zima board. It only has 8 gigabytes of RAM, so I can basically change this to 3 gigabytes if I want to. 4 might be pushing it. Just depends on how much RAM we can allocate. So I'm going to use 3 gigs. I think 3 to 4 gigs is okay to allocate for RAM size. And now all I'm going to do is just click on build server. Now we're going to click OK. If that dialog window pops up, I'm going to click no thanks. And now you're going to see something happening down here that is trying to import all the information. So we're going to click on test server right here, and we're going to wait for that import to finalize, and then we're going to click on start. Now a EULA dialog window is going to pop up. You're going to click yes. This is basically a privacy statement from Mojang themselves saying that, hey, you own a copy of Minecraft Java Edition and you're allowed to, you know, basically play Minecraft Java Edition because you do own a copy of it. Now, if it looks like something's not happening here and you see that start button going again, just click on it again just to make sure that it's actually running. And now you can see your commands that are actually running on the right hand side. Now, sometimes I click on logs for a second and you can see that it's online. So I go back to the terminal and it's just running stuff in the background. It's sending a whole bunch of data in the background to your actual CastOS or your Zima board so that you can actually basically get the server up and running and ready to go. So just give it some time to actually finalize. It takes a couple minutes usually, and then we will get to the next step. Now, the next step is going to involve you to know a little bit about your router. You need to have access to your home router for this to work. Otherwise, this is not going to work for you. I'm assuming if you have a Zima board or you have a computer and all that kind of stuff, I'm assuming you probably have access to your home router or even a phone. You can do this all through your phone as well. You need to know something. So the default port that we're going to be using is 25565. I highly recommend you just to leave that, especially if you're just setting up one server, you're setting up a server for your friends that you know and stuff. Just leave that alone. Now, the next thing you need to do is you need to log into your router. So I'm going to jump over to my computer right now. I know I said I was going to show you this on the phone, but I already have it logged in on my computer, and I'm going to show you things over there. Now, on my computer, these are all of my internal IP addresses. This means that the CastOS, which is my Zima board, is the IP address that my router has given it. And why I'm explaining that is just for those that are kind of newer, that don't understand this kind of stuff. Every router is different. I have a TP-Link. This is a high-end router and everything. And yeah, you just need to know how to use port forwarding. Most routers since 2010 have port forwarding in them. So you should have some sort of port forwarding option here. Now, of course, the better the internet, the better the router, the better the signal you'll get for port forwarding your Minecraft world. Now, you're going to click on the add button. So this is a TP-Link router again. So I'm going to click on the add button. I'm going to click on view connected devices. I'm going to click on the actual CastOS, which is the IP address that we're port forwarding into it. And we're going to name this Java MC server. So I know that this is my Java MC server. And then right here is where I'm going to put that port. So 25565. And click save. Now that we have that port forwarded, we can exit out of our actual router and we're going to navigate to the next website here. Now I'm going to show you the rest on the websites because it's a little bit easier just to show you on the computer than my phone, but it is all able to be done on the phone as well. I highly recommend if you don't have a computer, just follow along. It's the same setup. Web browsers on Google Chrome are the same thing on the phone as they are on the PC. So what you're going to do in the top right hand side is go to this no IP website. This means that we're going to create a server name for our IP address, for our dynamic IP address basically, so that we can access our device if I'm outside of my home, for example. So if I want to access my router or my router through my CastOS and use my server, then this is what this is going to do. So basically I'm going to click on the sign up button. Now I'm going to sign up with my Gmail, and I'm just going to use just a random Gmail here. I think I'm going to use this one, and then I'm going to click continue. Now, obviously I blanked all that out so you guys didn't see any of that information, but that is what I did. And now what you have to do on the actual screen, if you have this on your computer or if you have this on your phone or whatever, you're gonna have to look for this account information section. Now you're gonna see your IP address here and everything. So that's your actual IP address for your internet service provider. That's the IP address that changes every once in a while, unless you have a static IP. Now, again, I blurred that out for obvious reasons because I don't want people to know what that IP address is. That's what the purposes of this no IP program is. It's a free service for one basically host name. Now, of course, if you pay for this, which is a monthly service as well, it's really cheap, then you will obviously be able to get a little bit better, speeds probably with that static IP and everything, but we're not here for that. We're here for the free stuff, right? So the only thing you have to pay for is the Zima board and your internet service provider. So make sure your internet service provider can allow you with port forwarding. And then we're going to go to two-factor authentication, click on activate, and then we're going to just set up whatever your, custom security question is. So what is your pet's name? What is your first spouse? Whatever the case may be. I'm just going to be using my father's middle name, and then I'm going to type that in here. And I can remember this because I remember my father's middle name, so click on save. And now you're going to go to dynamic DNS, go to no IP host names. Then you're going to navigate to where it says create host names, and then you're going to create your host name. So I'm going to create my host name to be called DMG Clan 101, okay? And then I'm going to change my domain name. So this is just free domains that you can just pick whatever you want. I'm going to name it serveminecraft.net, which makes sense, right? So this is where your IP address is showing and everything. We're going to click on create hostname and DDNS key. Make sure that you generate that DDNS key, and then you're going to click on continue. Now, I can technically route into my home network with my data on my phone, and I'm going to show you that in a few minutes. So we can navigate outside of our computer now and back over to our actual phone. So now back over on my phone, I'm going to actually disconnect from my Wi-Fi. My server is running. I know it's running. It's perfectly fine. And I'm going to go over to PoJav Launcher. So this is PoJav Launcher for Android, which is basically so that we can play Minecraft Java Edition. The very important thing is you need to be logged into your account so that you can play online. This means that you need to own a copy of Java Minecraft for the PC. Very important. I'm going to tell you that now. Very, very important. So now you're going to click on this pencil icon. I'm going to select the latest version, which is 1.2.1.4 for this case. Now, if you don't have that, we're going to actually just change this to 1.2.1.4. So let's go to the pencil icon, go to select, and we're going to go to release 1.2.1.4. I'm going to change my renderer to the LTW render, click save, and click play. Now again, very, very important that you have access to a Java basically account that has Java Minecraft for the PC so that you can actually play online. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to multiplayer. And you can see that I already have a server here, and that's because I was actually just testing things out to make sure it works. But what we're going to do is we're going to go to add server, and I'm going to open up my keyboard. I'm going to type in my DMG clan. It doesn't matter what you name it, but just type in DMG clan. And then the next thing I'm going to type in is that DMG clan 101 dot serve Minecraft. It's not server, it's just serve Minecraft.net. Okay, so that's the actual serve name or the server name that we ended up giving it, and we port forward through that actual basically IP address. I'm going to click on done, and as you can see, I can actually connect to it, and I'm on data. I'm on my data because I port forwarded that IP address. I port forwarded my CAS OS, and this program on the computer called NoIP has your IP address associated with it, so it can port forward through that actual route. We're going to click on join server, and we're going to see how well it's actually running. So here we go. This is me playing on a server, my own home server, using data. I am on my data, and it's working great. So there you go, guys. If you guys have any questions, I know this was kind of a, deeper dive video about this, but this video is not even 20 minutes long. And if you want to actually learn how to do this with this, free-ish, cheaper way of hosting a server for you and your friends to play on, then follow the entire guide. If you didn't follow the entire guide and says that doesn't work for you, then there could be some other issues. There could be, you know, you could jump over to Discord and ask me some questions. You can ask questions in the chat and all that fun jazz, but I'm just letting you know that this is kind of a guide for those that kind of have a little bit of experience with, you know, port forwarding and all that fun jazz and everything else on top of that. Have a nice day. I hope you enjoy playing on your own server by yourself or with your friends, whatever you want to do outside of your home for Java Minecraft using PoJav Launcher for your phone. Love you all. See you next time. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and comment if you want to, you know, gain my love forever. Bye-bye!